Ludwig, I'm very worried about this.
Okay, wait,
Yeah.
Devin, last time we talked, you were like, no biggie,
I know.
relax,
Yeah.
and now you're stressed out?
Yes. I think there's a significant change in how Twitch worded this last thing and what just happened. Because you're right, I
got an email.
Yeah, I did too.
Let me pull it up. Is this the email you're talking about that you're worried about how it's worded?
Though, man, we have a lot to talk about. There's some really crazy shit going on right now. Like, I think Twitch might be the imposter. right now, like, it's pretty sus, dude. Like, we'll go through it. All right,
you have it pulled up.
I do. Yeah, it's my tweet.
Read it out.
Okay. Well, then let me actually read the whole thing then, because I think that it's important. Okay. So, hi, dear Devin Nash. This is so you're not going to see this on the page. This is my actual email I'm reading right now. This is a warning notification regarding a claim of copyright infringement on your Twitch account. Please read this email carefully as it contains important information about the options you have going forward. Several months ago, we began to receive an influx of notifications of copyright infringement, commonly referred to as DMCA takedown notifications, directed at music in the background of previously recorded content, including years-old clips and VODs. Pay attention to that. We deleted the content identified in these notifications in accordance with our obligations under DMCA. Due to the sudden increase in notifications, we temporarily paused processing certain notifications, as it results in a repeat infringer policy to ensure creators had the tools and resources to manage their recorded content and make informed decisions about music use in the future. Now we get into like the big stuff. We are writing to inform you that your channel was subject to one or more of these DMCA takedown notifications and that the content identified has been deleted. We recognize that by deleting this content, we are not giving you the option to file a counter notification or seek a retraction from the rights holder. In consideration of this, we have processed these notifications and are issuing you a one-time warning to give you the chance to learn about copyright law and the tools available to manage your content. We know that the copyright is confusing, blah, blah, blah. Insert bunch of stuff here. Over the past few months, we have been improving the tools available to help manage music used in your live and recorded content. This includes the ability to delete all of your clips at once and control who creates clips on your channel. Scanning new clips of Audible Magic and launching a free way to stream high-quality music from your channel, soundtrack. We will resume, all bold, the normal process of DMCA takedown notifications after 12 noon PST on Friday, October 23rd. To avoid receiving a DMCA takedown notification for recorded content that remains on your channel, review your clips, VODs, and content in your creator dashboard. Delete anything that includes unlicensed copyrighted material. If you are unsure about the contents you can archive, you can delete all of it. Visit our help page to learn more. Join the Creator Camp seminar on October 21st at 2 p.m. Wow, to discuss guidelines and channels and answer questions and review Twitch guidelines. The rest of it's not really that important. That's the gist of it.
Okay. And so do you think this was delivered to people on mass, or do you think it was targeted? Do you think they just sent it to all partners? Because
I know partners who did not receive them.
Okay.
And I know big partners who didn't receive them that definitely stream copyrighted content. Nick Merckx is on that list, for example.
Why do you think that happened?
I suspect it happened. This is completely conjecture. I have no evidence of this, so I just want to be crystal clear on that, because when we're talking about this, we're gonna have to be very clear about what we know and what we don't know, because this is confusing as all hell. Nick Merckx has sub VODs enabled, and I think that the bots that are crawling Twitch right now do not have access via sub. If they're not a subscriber, they don't have API access yet to be able to go through and nail people. So if you are a person who blocks your VODs behind subs, you might have been temporarily protected from this. That's a possibility. That won't save you later, because all of these bots are going to
just get access.
Via API and go right through it.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's a lot that's really concerning in this, and I'll kind of tell you why my opinion changed, because before I built a DMCA list, right? And I kind of said okay, if you're not streaming the top 50 songs or movie trailers and stuff like that, you're probably going to be fine. The reason why I'm really worried about this is because we have to pay attention to what Twitch has said specifically that they're doing. Because did you see the message from Twitch support that clarified this?
No.
It was really important. Let me go pull it up.
Oh, from their Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Twitch support responded to some random thread and said the following. Hey guys, the email was to inform you that one or more of your VODs/clips has received a DMCA takedown over the past few months, as well as give you time to learn about copyright law and the tools available. Second tweet. This content was identified and deleted for you in accordance with its obligations under DMCA. Going forward, clips that are identified as having copyrighted music will be deleted without penalty to help ensure that you do not receive DMCA notifications from right holders.
Great.
That sounds great, right?
Amazing.
Cool. So let's break it down. So the important thing is not the content that Twitch can identify. It's the content that Twitch can't identify. Because Twitch's system doesn't have 100% identification of DMCA. And worse than that, it doesn't have that identification going back longer than a few months. So if you created content and you were
Twitch's
clipped,
system just not the same as the system from the copyright holders?
Well, those systems have to be made by the platforms. Like YouTube spent millions and millions of dollars to create the Content ID system, and it took years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Twitch
you're saying we're fucked because the system Twitch has is worse than the system the copyright holders have.
Yes, because Twitch has not provided identification for all of the clips in question. So I've been streaming for 8 years, right? 7 years ago was a fucking lifetime ago. I was playing League of Legends in my basement under a fucking staircase like Harry Potter. Like I might have streamed a top 50 song. Who knows? But that clip, which was not flagged by the identification system, will get flagged when the copyright people go through and DMCA it. Then I get a perma-strike on my account, and then I get 3 of those, maybe instantaneously, and I'm off the platform.
Okay, so that's where I think that it won't go that way, because if this happens en masse, do you think that Twitch has even the fucking ability to let that many streamers get permanently banned?
People were already being DMCA'd for clips years ago. Fusely was. Yeah,
they were, but they're here still. You said permanently banned, and I think that's the difference. It's like I feel like they will run into problems, and it'll be bans en masse, and they will have to address that. But I think they'll have to either fix their system or force everyone to delete their clips or something. But if right now the way it's worded, and I see what you're talking about, is basically that you got to delete clips with music in them. We'll try to do it for you, but if we fail and you get caught, then you get a strike, right?
That's exactly right.
Thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm lazy.
Yep, me too.
And I know many other streamers are lazier than me, and many of them don't want to delete their clips, and they're not gonna. I don't think Miz would. I doubt XQC will. I doubt like fucking Dream, who might play copyrighted music, gives a shit and thinks about it because he's mainly a YouTuber. You know what I mean? So it's like, are they really going to have all these people get banned at once and just chill with it and just be like, all right, this is fine?
So the problem is, if this were some normal terms of service violation where Twitch could basically dictate what happens to you, if you pulled out your dick on stream, okay, and then the AM says, well, you had no previous history of pulling your dick out, I guess we can unban you. That to me feels different than Twitch having to comply with federal regulation, in which case they operate under a law right now called safe harbor, which means that they are doing their due diligence to be able to demonstrate that they're basically making reasonable effort to protect copyright holders from infringement. Okay,
sure.
And they are now also in Congress right now, right, with people asking them about why there's illegal music being played on Twitch. So if there is something that basically companies are going to do what makes them the most money. So there's the argument that's like, okay, you can't ban everybody because it's going to basically destroy the platform. It's totally legitimate until you consider that if Twitch gets removed from safe harbor, that is actually far more damaging than banning even the top creators of their platform. So what I'm saying is, if they are, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so concerned, is that if they are, if their safe harbor provision is threatened, and then their website is going to be issued a takedown notice because by the federal government, which is entirely possible, right? This has happened to many different platforms before. Then that issue is the end of Twitch, effectively, if that happens. So if Twitch has to force a lesser evil to prevent that from happening, I believe that they will at this point.
Yeah, but I don't think that they're that dumb, and I don't think that they could afford to just have all their creators get banned.
These are the same people that allowed this to happen for the past 8 years without creating a content ID system when YouTube started it 9 years ago.
I think they're lazy fucks too, but I'm just saying, like,
like
they would rather delete the clips and VODs of all streamers, right? Just delete them all.
Yeah.
Delete the entire history of their page. Then have them get banned.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I got like a...
I think if the options were for Twitch to delete every clip XQC's ever made and every VOD he's ever had, or lose the platform, get banned off the platform, they would choose the former.
Okay, but what they're doing with this email is they're putting that onus on the creator. That's what this onus is saying. This is all for safe harbor, right? They're saying, we warned them. We told them that this was going to happen. It's their responsibility to delete all their content.
But I think because they're putting it on the creator, it's not going to happen for most creators. And they're going to run into, like, they're hoping that creators will do this so they don't have to take the step. And I think they're going to have to take the step. They're just pussyfooting around it.
You think they're going to have to delete all VODs and clips across the platform?
I think that's one option. I think another, I feel like they should be able to just straight up, I don't know. I feel like they should be able to use the copyright detection service from the copyright holding companies. That makes more sense to me. Why would they not be able to just find that service or use that service themselves to find the clips?
Well, because there isn't, so they're using Audible Magic. They said that, right? But there isn't one industry standard for what these copyright people use, right? There are multiple different identification systems for multiple different publishers and multiple different copyright holders.
Okay.
So the YouTube content ID system is the most advanced copyright ID system on earth because it incorporates many of those different technologies to be able to sort of like create a broad scope. It's most likely that if you upload something on YouTube, it's going to get caught. And YouTube also errs on the side of the absurd, right? Like you can hum a song and it might get caught. Yeah. The reason they do that is because they want to prevent liability. So Twitch would have to do something similar or do something like you're saying, which is like literally delete everything to be able to get there. A lot of these companies write their own software.
Yeah, that makes sense. But then I think so, you know, if they write their own software, they might detect things Twitch don't. They can delete everything and then, you know, start fresh, and then they'll be able to detect things better. Or they can do what YouTube does. And they just, if the company detects a song, can't they just give the ad revenue for that stream to the company?
It's hard because the ad revenue is, everything is processed live. So like theoretically you could, but like even YouTube has problems with this, right? Where like somebody can issue a copyright claim on a video. Does that mean that a 6-hour VOD gets claimed for all of its advertising revenue to that individual for a 1-minute song?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
YouTube does it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And that could be the case. Fuck. like that's brutal, but yeah, maybe that's what it takes. But I mean, like, okay, so you see what
YouTube only takes the revenue from ads. They don't take the revenue from membership program or from sponsored.
Sure, but like your revenue is from ads for most of us, right? Like that's like, it's a huge percentage of our income on YouTube.
That's true. But I don't think that the sub revenue, I think the ad revenue is,
no, it's a separate, that's going to be a separate classification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a world where you would share the sub revenue for the day. And that would just never happen, I don't think.
I agree. Yeah. But like, what? So like talking, but you see why I'm worried now, right? Like the scale we're talking about, what you just said is, I don't think the platform will go down. I think we'll just delete all videos and clips across the whole like, think about the fucking like that is how many years
you're not
of
wrong.
Yeah,
sure.
This is like one of the biggest things to happen on Twitch in the sense that like this is such a fucking crazy thing that like the non-nuclear option that we are looking at is deleting everything on the platform. like holy shit.
I just think people are like concerned about the emails and they think, as you said, the onus is on them and they're deleting their own clips and VODs. When in reality, even if Twitch tries to phrase it that way, it's their responsibility. They're going to have to deal with it. Otherwise, their platform's going to get fucked in a major way. And so if I just do nothing, I think Twitch they just have to figure it out. Because as you said, if they don't figure it out, they're fucked.
But you're
so
taking
they're going to figure it out. Which
nutty
means I don't have
chance
to do
with
anything.
that.
I don't think I am. I don't think Twitch...
Okay, legally, the liability is on you. You know that, right?
Sure.
Your partner contract stipulates that they're not responsible for any of the content that you put on here.
Yeah.
So you're it, dude. Like the liability is on you, and you're basically predicting on a platform that's notorious for not doing something that they're going to do something, and that's going to protect you.
I mean, it's
respect
they're
the
self-interested to do that. It's not like they're benefiting me with no benefit to themselves. But I think if they tally up the numbers and they go, okay, we're going to lose 20% of our creators because of this DMCA issue, and 50%, of our viewership in just chatting category, are we going to go through with this?
Yeah.
Especially when there's a war for streams on YouTube versus Twitch and Facebook. Is that really what we want to do here? When they're willing to literally pay money to some of these people just to stream on their platform.
I guess I just have a more corporate view of it, okay? Here's what I look at if I'm Amazon. I have a platform that is massively unpopular. Unprofitable. Big difference in those words. Excuse me, not unpopular, unprofitable. I'm losing money on this platform every year, okay? Now, Congress is looking at me. And by the way, this entire platform is way less than 0.050 of my business, right? Like this is a line item on the balance sheet of Amazon compared to AWS and like everything else they sell.
Sure.
And it's losing money. I look at that and I say, okay, this is a platform that has some of my lowest profitability in my company, but my highest liability. And then I say, what steps am I really willing to take to protect a platform like that that's under me? And that concerns me because you're an optimist, so I love you. But I'm a corporate guy. And like I think in terms of like profitability, and I think in terms of like liability and like how likely I am to stand. Like when I'm operating as a business, I'm thinking in terms of who's going to fuck me over for saying this or for doing this or for taking this action. And I think Amazon is going to want to avoid congressional attention, more congressional attention, that they already have as a result of like possibly being a monopoly and everything else that they're now, because they're specifically here for Twitch. Like on an unprofitable enterprise as a percentage of their business, more so than they are going to like think about it like us, which is like, this is an important and imperative part of their content and their platform. And I hope I'm wrong on that, but it's a reason enough to be afraid that like, remember, Twitch isn't like this like independent company with like 200 people like it was a few years ago. It is run by one of the largest companies in the world that is a for-profit enterprise, and Amazon culturally cares a shit ton about profitability. They want all, if they don't have profitable enterprises within their company, they drop them in a pretty short amount of time.
I think that is maybe it has some basis in truth, but I think I don't know. That doesn't seem too dissimilar for me from the position Twitch is in now to the position YouTube was in like 8 years ago, right?
The difference is that Google culturally understood YouTube to be a cultural phenomenon and understood that they have a monopoly on VOD content. And so in doing so was willing to keep YouTube as an unprofitable enterprise for a long time. And the other difference, the other really critical difference is that the way that Google monetizes is through ads. The way that Amazon monetizes through AWS and products and services. So
yeah, but
there's
even
not
before,
a huge
like,
incentive.
When they didn't have many ads. I mean, Google bought them. Google
has always been run by ads. Google has always been monetized by ads.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, YouTube itself was probably 0.05% of their fucking company. Totally. In 2008, but the executives when Chugga Conroy was getting in trouble for copyrighted songs 100%. From his Let's Plays.
But the executives could see a future where YouTube would be able to serve as an ad platform. And that same future doesn't exist for Twitch in the context of Amazon because Amazon monetizes only a tiny percentage by ads.
I think you're just thinking that the executives in Google were more optimistic.
No, it's not a matter of optimism. It's a matter of being tied to the business plan. The business plan of Google is ads. The business plan of Facebook is ads, right? They are going to do things. So Google owning a content network like YouTube makes perfect sense for a company like Google. Amazon
on
owning a content network.
hindsight, but in 2007, it might have just been like a chip shot, right? Like 2007 YouTube, 2006 YouTube. I don't know if it was. I feel like you're talking about it.
I don't think it was in hindsight. I think it was like a really clear. I mean, I think that's why Google bought YouTube. They bought it with the intent, but Amazon bought Twitch with the intent to have a presence, a media presence in this space, which is like the same reason they did like Amazon Video and such things like that. But that's a different thing than like this is going to be a significant part of the profit that we earn as a company.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you don't see the same potential for Amazon to eventually do that with Twitch?
No, I don't think that anything points to that. I don't think that Amazon, and the real reason for that is because Facebook and Google have spent billions of dollars and years building a dynamic ad network, and Amazon doesn't have that. They have an ad network through Amazon affiliate, which they make about like 10 to 15 billion a year off of. It's a tiny percentage of the company compared to like everything else they're doing.
Okay.
I realize this is like pretty technical, but it is,
yeah.
Yeah, it's important to understand because this is how high-level executives are thinking about the direction of their company. And when you acquiesce a product or when you buy another company, you're thinking in terms of like sort of the benefit that company has to you in the long term as it relates to your business model. Because Google and Facebook are ad platforms, they're going to index on streaming super hard. And just like VODs and content creation, because they know that that's a viable place to leverage their ads. Amazon is not an ad platform. They make a little bit of money off of ads, but their main product, I think, right now is AWS and their consumer services.
Yeah,
them holding on to Twitch when it's unprofitable and an enormous congressional liability doesn't make sense to me.
I understand that logic, but I think it all adding up to the idea that Twitch is willing, or Amazon's willing to let go of Twitch as a whole, like that's a possibility. I think is less likely than them just figuring their shit out. I don't. To me, that just seems. I just feel like it would be crazy. And maybe this is because I'm in the machine, but it would seem crazy to me to just be like, "Fuck this, let's just get rid of it."
I think you're in the machine. I think the you have to see that the percentage of actual mass that Twitch is compared to Amazon, which runs it, and the potential future of the platform versus the liability that in any business, if you ask any executive, what is the 80% or what's the 20% of things that's causing 80% of your problems? If Twitch becomes that from a liability standpoint, they drop it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
In my lifetime, I have never seen legislation that threatens a company or threatens the internet really come to fruition. It feels like it
net
always
neutrality,
just kind of
Microsoft, what?
Like, yeah, but like what? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Net neutrality. I feel like we made the biggest deal in the world, and then I don't know what's come of it. I don't think we've talked about it much. Like, I don't think since like fucking LimeWire or Napster, there's been sites that are just taken down and removed because of legislation. I feel like we always talk about it.
There definitely
like is. This is literally going to end the world. Net neutrality.
I understand what you're saying.
It just goes away.
I get it. Okay. So a lot of these things, they manifest as like very small changes. And then before you know it, you're living a different life. So like ISPs being able to charge services is only like really affecting businesses right now, but will affect consumers in the long run. I'll give you just a direct example of how like legislation can change this. Poker sites, gambling sites, okay? This was like an enormous industry. They're like, everyone remembers like these giant poker sites where like everybody was playing. Legislation came in, like Black Ops Fed people freaking shut that shit down overnight. It can definitely happen. Like now, I don't think that Twitch's fate is necessarily that it collapses under the weight of DMCA. And that there are ways around it. I think that Amazon just writes it off. At some point, they just go, holy shit, the liability of this is so high compared to other enterprises. Like, look at Amazon Video, right? Amazon Video is profitable. It sells Prime subscriptions. It's subscription-based. And all of the content that they have on it, they own. There's zero liability. That's why they can do Amazon watch parties for us. Right?
Yeah.
With Twitch, you've got this rogue element of tens of thousands of people that are literally streaming. And like, man, the copyright system is so convoluted. How deep do we go on this? Like, are we gonna? So, like, if you watch a music video on Twitch on YouTube, or you watch a a video on YouTube that is from like a really big like Warner Brothers or a movie trailer, are you liable then? Right? By the law of the letter, you are. How deep does this go? Like, so limiting liability on Twitch is going to be infinitely harder than limiting liability on YouTube because of the nature of the live content. Right? Like on YouTube, we have a VOD system. We can upload something and there will be a little pause. There will be a little do. It's like, hey, stop. Like, this is copyrighted. And then we can make a decision. But live content, as it goes out, it's live. That's it.
Yeah.
So I really am concerned. I mean, like, look, if the most optimistic thing we have on this phone call is we can delete everything on Twitch, and that's Ludwig being I know you to be an optimist. like, holy fuck, that's insane. Like, I have 8 years of content on this site. Like, I have memories. This is my life's work.
I see. Yeah. I guess I am just optimistic because poker is a good example, but it's kind of before my time. I was like
a Zoomer.
7 or 8. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. People brought up other examples like MegaUpload and things like that. And,
yep. Napster.
But like that,
yeah.
It also makes sense to me that those got taken down. And I don't think Twitch is in the same vein. Just on a very general sense, their takedowns versus the takedown of like Twitch, a site where people are listening to copyrighted shit. Copyright, which is like, I feel like such, I don't know. I feel like it's a bunch of boomers talking about shit they don't super know about yet.
Those boomers make the laws, dude. Like, that's the thing is, like, as far as those boomers are concerned, there is a weird little website that's doing tens of thousands of federal law infractions every minute, right? Like, that's how they look at it. Like, the lawyers up on Congressional Hill and shit are looking at this and they're going, holy shit, this website is literally breaking the law every single minute, every single day, all the time.
Matching my optimism with your pessimism because you've gone to the absolute worst case scenario, right?
Well, the worst case scenario being that Twitch goes down and everybody with it. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That is bad, but I think that is more unrealistic than my optimism, which is Twitch just figures it out and it works out. Either by having to pay a share of ad revenue for every stream with copyrighted things, or deleting all VODs and removing the VOD service, whatever it is.
Okay, so let me pick up my bedroll and I'll come into your camp for a minute. So YouTube figured it out. YouTube had the same quandary, right? And they were kind of blindsided by it too. Like they were like, oh shit, and they built the Content ID system from the ground up to address it, and they sort of navigated their way through it. In the meantime, until they built a system enough that like everybody was cool with,
yeah,
or not that everybody's cool with, but I guess it's just like it's the best of what we've got, and it works. Sure. Yeah. So maybe Twitch does the same thing. They kind of finagled their way through it, and they sort of like dodge like the spinning traps and everything, and like get to the end of the dungeon. I hope you're right.
I just think this right now. I think they're just being pussyfooting. They're being pussies, and they're just leaving it to the creator. And I think that that's not going to work. And I think they're going to have to figure out themselves. I think they're hoping not to because they're going to get a lot of blowback from creators.
Yeah.
But they're just going to have to do that. And I think they're just stalling.
Okay, I have less faith, but I'm glad that you do. And I think that brings us to two things. One is what creators do as a result of this. And second is I got to give you a tinfoil hat thing. Which one do you want first?
Tinfoil hats sound great.
Tinfoil hats, big stuff. I have received several messages, and there are some of interesting authority, and I will read you one, okay? Are you sure this is from a person that I consider to be pretty authoritative on this subject. I can't say anything else, but like, are you sure that DMCA claims existed to begin with this time? Did anyone actually get a strike, or was it a heads up? They didn't tell you who the claimant was, which they're legally required to do. They didn't tell you what piece of content had the music in it. They claim they deleted the content, and you can't counterclaim it. This all coming a day after soundtrack was released. What are the chances that someone made this up just to scare people into using soundtrack and deleting their clips?
What is soundtrack?
That is the official Twitch music platform that they provided that came out yesterday, by the way.
I never even heard about that. So if that was the plan, then they kind of fucked up.
So
like
it is really weird.
Should have dropped like a fourth number and been like, use soundtrack on this email, and then there would have been money.
It's in there.
Is it?
Yeah, I think you just stopped reading.
Okay.
Yeah, they set it. They set it up.
I shouldn't see in your screenshot.
It's right below it. Download. Here, it's in this screenshot. So it's just not in my tweet because my tweet was just there to evoke angry emotions.
Sure.
Yeah. This one. Stuff you can do. Download the beta version of Soundtrack by Twitch, a tool that gives free access to globally cleared music that will play your VODs and stuff like that. Will transfer to VODs or clips. So there is a pretty big possibility that maybe nobody got claimed, and there isn't actually any stuff like that, and they're just trying to get people to delete stuff because for exactly the reason that you said, because they don't want to have to take the next step.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right that Twitch does have a real problem, and I remember that H-Rock, who used to work at Twitch, talked about how like this was like a big problem that they had, and that their first solution was just muting VODs, which wasn't even a solution. It was just like a bandage, and they had to actually address the actual problem of copyrighted content as a whole being played through streams. But I think that there are many steps that will go on the road between where they are now and what they've done, which is just saying, hey, creators, you figure it out, to let's just ban all creators or get rid of this platform as a whole.
Yeah.
And I think that they will go through those steps, and the progression will be much more gradual. And it's always way more gradual than people make it seem in legislation as well. And then it'll be much more evident, I think, what path they take. Which is, I guess, why I'm optimistic, is because we are so early in it, I think. I mean, it's been a problem for a long time, but I think the steps that they take, we're still early in their action plan.
I agree. Then I think that leads us to sort of the next like logical place, which is what do creators do right now? And that's something that I've been really stuck on as I started thinking about this today.
I think you do jack shit and let
You're a crazy
Twitch
person.
Figure it out.
You are a crazy person. Holy shit.
I'm doing jack shit. Look, at the end of the day, I don't play copyrighted music that much. I play a copyright-free playlist almost every single stream. I do react Andy to some stuff, which, hey, maybe that'll end up being a problem too. But my game plan, I'm doing jack shit, and I think if they ban me, that's great for me. I'll come back from the ban with my community active and angry with double the viewers because everyone's wondering why I was banned.
You'll never come back from the ban. You know that, right? That DMCA bans
think the first bans the perm? No, DMCA bans are first ones are 24 hours. At least they have been in the past.
But you get multiples at the same time. So the thing is, you'll get DMCA'd for all of your stuff at once, like many users have been already. That's the problem. Is it these are not TOS takedowns. These are DMCA takedowns. Every notification is an individual infraction. 3 is a permaban with no recourse for getting unbanned. No one has ever been unbanned from this platform for DMCA. Once they are banned, you will literally vanish.
It worked for the doc. It'll work for me.
Wait, what worked for the? Oh, you're gonna go to YouTube?
No, I'm not saying that. I did not use those words.
Okay. Like, yeah, if that's your plan. I mean, like, I think you're a crazy person.
Yeah.
Are you going to continue to play copyrighted music?
I don't play copyrighted music as it stands.
You said you don't play most copyrighted music.
Generally. Oh, yeah,
generally
sure.
means...
There are occasions. Yeah. There are occasions where I play copyrighted music for...
So you're going to do the same thing you've always done. That's what you're telling me right now.
I will change nothing. And I will leave all of the onus on Twitch to figure it out. And then if they ban me, I will cause outrage. And I think that is the same exact path that Mizkif's going to take, XQC's going to take. I think fucking every lazy-ass streamer I know, which is half this fucking platform, will take that same exact path. And then we'll see. We'll see where the marbles lie.
And you don't...
XQC's going to be playing copyrighted music every day on stream. Yeah, absolutely. And then...
Really?
If he gets... Yeah, I think
he
so.
Saw
I don't
this.
think he's going to change anything.
He saw this and he was like, dude, I got to delete all my content in a week. Because I don't know if he means it. Like, maybe he just forgets about it. Right?
I think he will still just react Andy for the beginning portion of his stream, and that will contain a fuck ton of copyrighted shit in it. And he'll just run that.
Okay. I just want to get this straight. So you are going to completely trust your fate to Twitch?
Yeah. I think the decision that you're making it, which is either they take down the platform or that they ban all the creators, is a false dichotomy, and that Twitch will just have to figure their shit out. And there are many other just very viable platforms to go to if they don't do that.
What if they ban some of them? What if they ban you and XQC doesn't get banned? And if you say public outrage, it doesn't matter. No one cares about that.
For the same infraction, like the same thing. We've done the same thing, but they just decided to ban me instead of him.
Yes.
Then there's other platforms that are viable to go to.
Okay. So
that
are
would
you
be
saying...
very strange, though? I think it'd be very strange.
So Twitch has never banned people and then not banned people for the same infraction. They are notorious for that shit.
As the ban. I thought you said DMCA was out of their control, Devin.
I did.
So then why would they have even the ability to ban someone and not someone else?
I don't know, man. I just think a lot of weird shit can happen here.
I don't think you're allowed to take both sides. If you think that it's
fair.
Out of their control and that it'll be just stricken based
I have
off
to say
of the
that they're going to ban
companies,
everyone or no one?
Yeah. I think if that's how you believe it to be, it's based off the copyright creators hold or the copywriters
Twitch
hold.
only. I have a counter argument. Twitch only needs to do as in so much as to prove that they are operating within safe harbor and making a reasonable effort to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which could be banning some people. It could be banning no people and updating their software. It could be any number of things. I think
said at the end of the day, if it's detecting 3 strikes, you're auto ban.
That is right.
That's
yes.
the phrase you use.
That is correct.
And so if it detects 3 strikes on XQC and detects 3 strikes on me, it'll auto ban both of us. So why would either of us be saved? And I think the amount of creators, if that happened, that would be removed, would be enough to swing the entire like live stream what is the word I'm looking for? Lead that Twitch has.
I think what you're saying to me right now is you're standing in a crowd of 100 people. I'm going to throw
I think it's way more. I think there are 4 million creators, and I think 2 million of them, majority, I think, play copyrighted things.
Okay, so
they have at least 3 clips somewhere of copyrighted stuff.
Okay, you're standing in a crowd of 5.9 million people. How many people streamed in the last 30 days? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think majority.
You're standing in a crowd of 5.9 million people. I am going to drop a fuel air bomb on that crowd, and I'm going to get some percentage of them, maybe a lot of them, maybe all of them, right? And you're telling me, rather than move out of the way of that, I'm going to still hang out there because I think that we'll know what to do.
They can't get us all, Devin.
That is insane. That is a crazy. I
can name
crazy.
3 Ninja clips, 3 Shroud clips, 3 XQC clips,
obviously
3 fucking Pomiana really clips. All of them.
Yes.
I think it's because it's not only half the streamers. I think it's half the streamers, but 90% of what the viewers are watching.
Are you just saying this because if you do get, like, do you think some of this is just like you're fucking Ludwig with 600K subscribers on YouTube and you don't really give a shit? Do you think some of it is that? If you were a creator that had more of their...
I think, yeah. Well, even if I didn't have I think regardless, I'd be able to figure it out. Even if I did get completely banned, I think everything works out in the end. I just always hold that philosophy for everything. I think I'd be fine wherever I go or whatever I do. Even if I can't stream on any platform at all, I wouldn't be too worried. I think this is literally, if it's as you're saying, 3 clips with copyrighted stuff and you get permabanned, that is like 90% of where the viewer minutes of Twitch are going to. Okay, straight up 90.
I guess the one thing I worry about is like you're like basic. I think the fewer bomb was maybe a little bit extreme. Let's go with like, I think you're tempting a tiger, right? And like you're like, well, the fence will protect me.
No, it's
but every once in a while a kid falls into the zoo.
I'm sitting on the tiger's neck and I'm holding hands with Ninja and Nick Merckx. And if the tiger's willing to eat me, he will have to eat Ninja and Nick Merckx too. And if he does that, then the tiger will die and I will find a new home with my friends Nick Merckx and Ninja.
Got it. Okay.
And if it eats itself, it eats itself. And that's that's a tiger's problem.
Why not delete your former content and not take the chance?
Because the nuke would happen regardless.
No, if you delete all your content right now, it's saying right now that
everyone deletes all their content, yeah, sure. But if everyone wears a mask, Devin, COVID won't go around. But I think most people on Twitch, all right, if we're going to go down this analogy, are not going to wear a goddamn mask. They're not going to delete their goddamn clips. And they're just going to be on the neck of the tiger. And they're all going to die.
Jesus.
Maybe I could live. I could move off the neck and be one of the few people remaining on this platform when this nuke goes off. But I will die with the rest of us.
Holy shit. All right. I can't disagree with your assessment. Like,
can you imagine a world because it's like you said there's no way to appeal it and you get perma-banned, where Twitch this all happens. It's the worst case scenario. They decide to keep the platform but ban all the creators and everyone's gone. Because look, Ninja's done it. All right. He has had many famous clips of him rapping rap songs and then them not going so well. Or Shroud, Nick Merckx, all the top creators are gone and Twitch is still coming out of there, alive, like a good top platform.
Yeah. I understand that. I feel like there's two types of people, okay?
The trigger, Twitch. I'll die with you.
I feel like there's people that are like, oh, you're taking this DMCA thing really seriously. I'm like, well, it's not that big of a deal. And then there's people that are like, I know what the music industry can do. I know what they're capable of. I know what they're willing to do and what they have done in the past. And that, like, platforms like YouTube have been an ass hair away in a lawsuit from, like, it's like betting that we're not going to have, like, a major disaster because we haven't had one yet just strikes it to me. I fear the music industry a lot because I'm very old and I lived through a time where they, like, scorched earth, including on YouTube. Like, YouTube came very close to getting banned several times. Like, just getting the platform kept getting removed. It didn't happen. It's sort of, there's still, like, a lot of copyright infringement lawsuits. There's, like, ongoing stuff. Like, it is working out for now. I just don't know if that's the same. But I guess the argument I can't really disagree with is, like, well, if there is an apocalypse and you're, like, the last person on the platform, will you even want to be here anyway? Absolutely not. That's a pretty good take, I think.
I think there's a 3-step plan I have. Step 1, optimism. Things work out. All right. Sites that are taking down, the examples, I think either are gambling or probably deserve to get taken down, like MegaUpload. I don't know how they finally did it, but I think it made sense. The Pirate Bay is still there. I don't know how the fuck that's a thing. If Twitch gets taken down before the Pirate Bay, this is a crazy world we live in. Step 2, if I die with the rest of my goddamn streamers on this goddamn platform. And then step 3, I have put myself in a situation where I have diversified my social media presence enough that no one platform has any control over my livelihood. That's 3. The Ludwig 3-step plan.
That's a pretty good plan. I am amazed.
And I'm currently at step 1.
Don't give a fuck and just wait.
Yeah, optimism.
Optimism. Okay. Yeah, you don't think that any big streamers are going to change their behavior as a result of this? As a result of this email, as a result of this? Because this is, like, big on Twitter right now.
Did anyone on the last one?
Yeah.
The last one happened.
Tim the Tatman just deleted all of his VODs.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about the last time there was a DMCA scare when we called, right?
Yeah. I think
everyone freaked out. Everyone freaked out.
Yep.
And then everyone went right back to normal.
I told everybody to chill, right? I was like, everything's good. Yeah.
But everyone who did freak out also still went right back to normal.
They did, literally like a week later. They
would make memes about it. They'd be like, "Oh my god, DMCA," and they would react Andy to something, or they would play, a song that was copyrighted or whatever it was. Most people just went back to normal right after.
So you think it's the same thing?
Yeah, I think it'll go mostly back to normal after this. I think I can't imagine that people will not stay in their habits. And everyone will change their habits. I think it's really hard to get 5.9 million people to change their habits. It's impossible, I think, with an email.
man, I think it's playing with fire, but what's to say that the platform, everyone on like this 20% of people or 30% or 40% or whatever is going to be that might get mass banned or removed, that's not just going to get overtaken and replaced by other broadcasters that were compliant, right? Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Like, so all these people get taken off and then the hole just gets filled by other creators.
Yeah.
I think there are other viable platforms. And I think that a nuclear event like that would be so, I mean, it'd be the biggest thing that ever happened on Twitch, right? Like it'd be
for
like,
sure.
And in that either they live through it, but even if they do live through it, I don't think they live through the same. I think it sets them back.
Yeah.
Because I think the creators we're talking about hold, even if it's 20% of the creators, like 50% of the viewers. And I think already with trajectory and growth of platforms, they are having some trouble against YouTube.
Massive trouble.
So this could just cripple them. If YouTube didn't exist and didn't do live streaming, then yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a monopoly, but they don't. So yeah, you can replace me on Twitch, but you cannot get rid of my presence as a streamer, nor any other streamers, because you don't have a monopoly. So they can just go to different platforms.
I see. Yeah. I don't know if I would give your same advice to smaller broadcasters or middle-sized broadcasters who aren't diversified. I don't know what to think for a person who, because the vast majority of people haven't diversified their content like you, right? They're probably very Twitch centric or very Twitch focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even people like Moon or Train.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. These people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it would be, if the platform died all of a sudden, they all got nuked, maybe kind of scary, because they would just like slash half their viewer base because they don't have the same following.
Yeah, I think you've done something that was insanely intelligent from the get-go, which means like you consciously made the effort to diversify into multiple different platforms from the beginning. And that does shield you from, it always has, right? Like that's just a classic business move. It's mogul
So maybe
moves.
my advice to someone from this wouldn't be freak out and save your Twitch platform. It'd be diversify your online content creation and put more effort into your YouTube or Twitter or TikTok or whatever you want.
Do you think that
that
people
should be what you should do?
You want to know who I gave advice to on that?
Who?
Exactly that same thing when something happened. Do you think
No.
Do you think that the people on Mixer knew or ever thought that their platform was going to be completely removed? That was ever a possibility for the people that are building their brands there?
I would have imagined, yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think?
No. I don't think that
Wow.
I don't think that any of those partners said, "Oh, this will never happen. This will." And when they did, I got hundreds and hundreds of messages. Hundreds of messages. I had to close DMs because it was so many partners, so many people that were making income that said, "What the fuck? I built my whole brand here. Literally, Microsoft shut us down overnight." And why did they shut us down? Because Mixer was not profitable and never had a chance at being so. And it was 0% of the actual revenue of the company. And there was enormous liability. Sounds like something we know, right?
Yeah, but I also think you could have just looked at how Mixer acquired Shroud and Ninja and then seen that after months that their viewership actually went down and their percent of owning the streaming market went down during that period after like months of acquiring so many streamers. So it's like, I feel like the lines were all pointing towards this shit was going bad. And Twitch has like 80%, right?
64%. Yeah.
64% market share,
Losing to
which is
YouTube
a
and
lot
Facebook.
different. That's a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
I would be scared shitless if I was on Facebook right now. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that your days could be numbered for sure. It's however long Facebook wants to lose money on the project. But yeah, I think the best thing you could do right now is definitely diversify your online presence.
Yeah, that was the advice that I had to give Mixer streamers after the fallout of that. It was that.
Well, that's too late for that advice, right?
I had given advice of that for like years and years, but like people didn't listen. Like I always say on Twitch like that you can probably over index on YouTube because like Twitch is like a more new platform and is like more beholden to these kind of risks. So like if you're building a brand on YouTube, it's most likely safer just because they've been through more shit. It's more likely they're going to be stable.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know. I think that the potential for catastrophic events, like it's sort of human nature to kind of avoid even thinking about these things as a possibility until they are. And something like Mixer is kind of a perfect example of that. That I really do think that if you went, I mean, fuck, man, I was getting messages from Microsoft employees that were like, I had no idea my department was being shut down. I'm out of a job. It was really crazy. It was like, this was, I think this would have been bigger news if it wasn't like in the context of like the Me Too movement and like a bunch of the other stuff that happened in the same week. I think Doc got banned in that same week. It was just a crazy week. Like there was like a lot of shit going down. It was like Doc gets banned. There's a huge movement, like a bunch of shit going on. By the way, Mixer got shut down. That whole week was like a super shitstorm. It was like,
I think it's also kind of how Microsoft wanted to do it. I think that's why they did it very fucking quick and fast and just said go to Facebook and then just fucked off about it. I think that's how they wanted it to happen too.
Yeah. But I just think Microsoft made a decision that was based off of profitability and based off of long-term growth potential and the potential to become profitable in the future. And despite the market share discrepancy, all of those same problems pertain to Twitch. In exactly the same way.
Well, yeah, but without the market share, which I think changes a lot of things. Because I think if Mixer gained any percentage of that market share, it wouldn't have been the same story.
It would have still been.
I think Microsoft would have been much more willing to burn money if they had 64% of the market, because that's at least something you can show, than like 4 going down to 3 or whatever they had. Especially with the 100 million they put into the streamers they acquired and then went down a percentage. So it's like, I think it's more so, I get how you view it in that it's, you know, high liability for Amazon with 0 profitability.
Yeah.
But I think, okay, Twitch has a 91% market share in gaming and a growing field. Amazon will not abandon ship, is what my sources are telling me.
Well,
I just can't imagine. Atrioc. It's just Atrioc.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine that. I think that is a very drastic step for them to just cut.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy that's saying that Amazon's going to shut down. That's not my official position.
Sure.
My official position is this. I think that over the next 6 to 12 months, this becomes increasingly harder to navigate, and that we start to see DMCA strikes or individual streamers getting banned for things that may not make sense, more attention come on the subject, and depending on the actions that Twitch takes over this period of time, we could either see an outcome like what you've said, which is that we kind of just sort of enter this equilibrium where everything is like still a little bit fucked, and like, yeah, maybe all your ad revenue, for example, goes away, like you said on a VOD or something, right? Like something like that. Like that, like we end up on that situation, or Twitch makes a series of like pretty bad decisions and like doesn't develop identification systems to support this. And as a result, like I don't even know if we ever see the true nuclear option, which I agree seems like really extreme. I think the outcome is we sort of like reach an equilibrium that like nobody is like truly happy about, which is sort of similar to YouTube in a way.
I think, look, at the end of the day, we get away with a lot as creators, and I'm sure there'll be a bit of outrage, but it's true that we are literally able to watch copyrighted content and profit off of it and get viewers off of other people's content with no penalty. We can use the likeness of Nintendo for little emoticons to advertise our channels.
Yeah, with a little Mario.
With no penalty. And I think those are all wild, wild west things that probably shouldn't exist, but only exist because Twitch won't do anything about it until they're forced to. And now they're getting forced to change like one aspect, which is just, hey, copyrighted shit. One day, I'm sure Nintendo's going to come for Twitch. I'm sure other people will come for IP that's being used. Pokemon's emotes are all Pikachu. Yeah. Tifu's are all Patrick Star. They'll come for that too one day. And all these things that we see as like, you know, like just Twitchisms that are just totally chill are going to have to change. But I think those will be the changes, and the platform will become less, you know, in a way cool and wild, wild west, rather than it just imploding and dying because they can't handle it and figure it out. I think they're better than that. I don't think they're that brain dead that it'll just fucking die and implode because they can't figure out these issues that they've never addressed and we're just lazy about.
I don't think that Twitch is, well, actually, if I say I don't think that Twitch is brain dead, I don't know if I'm being totally honest when I say that. So I'm more worried about the federal response to this and just the enormous, like, I don't know how much you've looked into this, but just the hilarity of how absurd copyright law is, just how wide-reaching it is, how broken it is, how many like convolutions there are, how easily it is to violate it. That it's like, like like sometimes the federal government, and again, like like we showed a couple of examples of this, they'll skip the part where they like go after the big person, and they'll go like that's why like individual people have been arrested by the federal government for like downloading illegal shit and pirating, right? It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. And I guess what I'm saying is like, I worry about the people that will fall as a result of this. It might not be everybody on the platform, but it might be some high tier partners that don't take that take the chance with this. There might be one or two that Congress decides to, or some guy that's familiar with it on Congress decides to even out. Usually what we see in situations like this is it's not like an all or nothing thing. It's that a few individuals go down and everyone else gets scared. I mean, I think you get poster childs, you get examples made of you, and then everybody else, because that's how you enact behavioral change. I mean, that happened to Fuseli, right? Like I think that there are people right now that are getting these infractions that are very close to that, and we might see a couple of those people tilt over the edge, get permabanned. Sure, maybe XQC is still on the platform or whatever, but those people just took the hit for everybody else. And I guess I'm worried about like that going forward.
I think unless there's like, for that to happen, I think there needs to be a media source that someone's consuming that's copyrighted, that is consumed by such few people, that's so popular. You know what I mean? Like it would have to be, we found people who are streaming Ariana's 7 Rings and exclusively that, right? Like, I don't think they would just pick out, hey, it's going to be Ninja today because of this song.
Right.
Because
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's happened, I think, right?
But I think that whatever it is, I can't imagine a world where that doesn't impact a lot of creators. You know what I mean? Like the thing that they pick, whatever it is. I don't think it'll be a small number of poster childs. I think it'll be a very large one.
Historically, it's hard to say. But what you're betting is that number is great enough that it basically incapacitates the platform unless they do something different. And it's not just like 3 to 5 streamers that just go down and then Twitch just forgets about them.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's a gamble.
Sure.
Yeah. But when you have the ability to prevent this from happening for yourself, now that opportunity, and like I can't stress enough how much this sucks. Like, as a person who has 8 years of content on this website, it's like unimaginable that I'm going to consider deleting every single clip that I've ever had in possibly every VOD. That is so sad, because this is my legacy, and I have so many memories and everything from this. But if it comes between that and seriously limiting potential liability as a broadcaster, I think I might have to take that option.
Sure. Yeah. I still believe there's a step in between that, though. In between, you're either deleting or not deleting, and then you're either getting banned or not banned, where Twitch says you have to delete it or deletes it for you.
I guess the reason why I'm freaking out is because this email basically says the opposite. It says, after Friday, October 23rd, this is your one warning, right? And after that, no holds bar. We're good.
Yeah, but no holds bar is not individual creators, right? No holds bar is every creator who has any infractions, which I think is the large number.
Yeah. Yep.
So if we're going by the email, then I think we're talking about 85, 90% of Twitch's viewer base is streamer is going to get fucked. And if that's what's going to happen,
I agree. If that's the outcome, then what you said is true.
Then they need to take that extra step of either deleting it for creators or figuring out a solution to get money into the copyright holders' pockets or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think that as much as Twitch wants the onus to be on us, it actually is, because I think they have to, for their own livelihood, take responsibility.
I mean,
that's how I view it.
So the other thing too. Okay, so let's say that's true for bot takedowns. So for the vast majority of automated takedowns, what about the people that are taking people down just by virtue of like individual songs or things like that? So like you said, like if everybody that streamed Kanye, for example, right, gets hit, right? Is that like a big enough catastrophe or things like that, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't.
But by the tone of the email, it doesn't feel like that would be the case. It feel like it sounds like it's everything, right? Which is different. But you're right that if it's just people who listen to like top 50 songs, like you were saying before,
yeah,
then it might not have enough power. But I think that would just be a bump in the road. And at the end of the day, everyone who has copyrighted shit they'll come after them too.
But that bump is a streamer that got run over. That's
well, I know the streamer got run over, but the truck is still coming for the rest of us. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like that's the bump in the road and then they forget about it. And then the rest of us who did copyrighted shit that's not Kanye are fine. We're still fucked. It just hasn't hit us yet. Right? And so when that truck finally hits us all, I think that's when Twitch has to go back. So yeah, maybe there's a period in between them banning the people who listen to Kanye and then banning everyone else who had other copyrighted shit. But when it comes for everyone else, that's when Twitch will have to go back and address everyone's concerns and problems. That makes sense?
It does. Yeah.
There's no way they just do Kanye and they're like, the rest of you are fine.
Twitch has to legally respond to the DMCA notifications that they get, right? So
yeah,
I don't think that there's just going to be a situation where like all of a sudden in 1 week, everybody gets DMCA'd for everything. That's not usually how this works, right? Usually what happens is like Warner Brothers is like, you know what? Let's do a pass through on Twitch, see what's there. And they go, oh, these guys all streamed Aquaman. Okay, like they're done. That's usually how it goes, right? Yeah, it's
I think that it would keep happening, right? It would be like, you know, from every company, it would keep happening with every song that they have to scale or look over until it hits enough creators where I think there's like a threshold where it's gone too far, you know, like where it's, because you're right, if it just hits 5 creators, even if they're large creators, everyone will be like, well, thank God it's not me.
Exactly.
But there's a point where it's enough creators where it's an unignorable problem.
Okay, and you so then how does that justify? I'm just trying to understand your position. Like, so then, if you are one of those creators that goes down early, your confidence is that like you realize that future solutions for this may not apply to you. That you may never come back, despite the fact that like because that's what happens to people that like take those hits, right? Like a person that gets DMCA'd now and gets off the platform, I don't think they'll necessarily benefit from a content ID system that comes up years later. Right, that's what I worry about is that like a person.
I don't think so. I think if they come for me because I listen to "Ecstasy of Gold," which is like the most copyrighted song I listen to, because for whatever reason they were really worried about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think after they come for everyone who listened to any top 100 pop song in the past 10 years, and then anyone
that'll be
at
enough
a trailer
people that
of a
it triggers
movie,
and
they're not just going to be like, we're only saving these people. They'll just be like, all right, partners, this is the situation we're dealing with.
So what is your advice for people that are not you, or do you even want to issue it? Because like
my firm stance is to, one, I would create a copyright free playlist. I've always done that. And I play that every stream because even if it's not for DMCA, even your VODs getting muted is just a worse experience.
How did you, real quick, just to how did you create a copyright-free playlist?
I just have viewers send in songs, and then we vote, and if it gets 65% of the votes or more, we add it. If it gets 35% or less, I ban them. And that's how I've done it for, I think, over a year now.
Now I understand why you work at extremes, dude. Like, well, either everyone's fucked or not. You're a Sith Lord. You're an actual Sith Lord. You only deal in absolutes. That's what this is. Holy shit. It all makes sense. Either you have a good song or we just ban you. Yeah, that's it. Like, do they ever come back?
Well, I'll let the mods take care of that. I don't deal with unbanning.
Holy shit. That is amazing. Okay,
So copyright-free playlist.
copy-free like playlist, yeah.
Because it's beneficial, and also it's beneficial because the second part you have to go on YouTube and Twitter. And those are really the only two that I mean, I'm also on TikTok and Instagram, and they do all right. But I think a YouTube's a really big one to have. Like, you need to have a YouTube.
Yeah, so diversify your content.
And if you don't have a copyright-free playlist, you're not going to make any money on your YouTube anyway. That's actually why I created my copyright-free playlist, is because I was getting all of my shit copyrighted on YouTube.
How did you get that stuff to be copyright-free on YouTube as well as Twitch? Because a lot of times it's not the same thing.
Well, I don't check to see if the VODs are muted because that takes too long. If I'm doing the copyright-free playlist, I need to know in the moment whether it's copyright or copyright-free. And usually YouTube tells you, if you go to the description, it'll just say who the copyright holder is, usually. Like 9 times out of 10.
Okay.
You just click on it, you go to the description, and it says in the description, learn more, and then it'll tell you the song, the artist.
So your playlist is on YouTube?
Yeah, it's only YouTube songs. Yeah.
Okay. So you created a YouTube playlist, and you look and see if they have a copyright. What if... So can I tell you something really crazy that happened to me?
Sure.
Okay. My entire channel overnight got copyright claimed. The way it happened was I had a song that was copyright free that was like 3 or 4 seconds of my intro that was not copyright and was copyright free at the time that I put it in. Years later, somebody picked it up. It became copyrighted. My stuff got flagged retroactively.
Really?
Yes. I had to go through. So you want to know what we did? We went to
and mute every video.
We went to the Philippines and we paid people to go through every single video and remove them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It was true terror. They claimed all the revenue on my entire YouTube channel overnight.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yes, it is. So that is why I'm afraid of that. That even if something is not copyrighted right now, it may be later.
Sure. But I also think I have a diversified enough playlist where I don't think that it's not like there's necessarily one song every stream.
How big is your playlist?
And I change the playlist. It's 40 songs, and I change the playlist every few months. So
you're a crazy person. I think you're gonna get fucked. So what if one of those songs gets copyrighted and you make 23-minute videos?
Yeah.
How many of those videos are going down? And that you'll have to go through and retroactively mute that.
Yeah. If Popcorn Castle, it's probably my most played on stream song,
doomed.
Gets copyrighted.
It's the end of Ludwig, dude.
I do lose probably like maybe 40 videos.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But I also post daily. And I also recently had my cousin make me a song.
That's big.
So that's like my new intro and outro song. And it's just my song.
I see. Okay.
I have the rights to that song.
Yeah. That's good. I've also been copyrighted on songs made for me too, but you can refeed all those. But if they're done on like 200 videos, it's just annoying as a time sink.
Yeah, it'll be a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
but it is also my song.
Yeah. What I do when I do YouTube videos is I don't play music. So when I am going to give a talk, I will just shut off music and I'll talk. And then I'll go back to playing music. But now I got to make like a super copyright free playlist. Like I got to subscribe to a bunch of services. I don't
choose video game music.
Video game music's good.
Video game music's always copyright free.
Yeah, or kind of. More so that because it's platform endemic, it's very hard to tell the difference between what's being used in a video game and what's being used by you.
Yeah.
There is an example of like this, GTA streamers.
Yeah.
That's a really good example of how you get insta-fucked. Yeah, that's like
But I think that
spooky.
also proves that it is true because you're bringing up the one example of when it's not true. But then I can name 1,000 video games in return for every one video game you can name that does have copyrighted songs in it.
Yeah, that's super true.
So there are like a few you can drop, but I think in general, video game music is
generally you can play like the entire soundtrack of Ori, and like it's never gonna be a problem.
Or or fucking Undertale or Animal Crossing's really great. Pokemon has a bunch of great songs. They're all great.
Oh, that's I don't know if I'd fuck with Nintendo. Yeah, Just Dance is totally fucked. Yeah, GTA and Just Dance streamers are like some of the most. Yeah, that's really really tough for them.
That makes sense. But that's like a weird. It's like a weird rabbit hole. But that's also another good point where then if this email holds true, everyone who's ever played GTA on stream is all of a sudden fucked, right?
Yeah, I just don't think that's well. Everyone that's played GTA on stream and played a particular song on the radio, yeah, for the last 8 years.
Yeah, if you
yes,
listen to the radio in the past 8 years in GTA 3 or more times, it's been clipped. Then you're fucked.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Madden and 2K streamers.
How many streamers is that?
A lot. And GTA is like a top 10 category. GTA 5 is a top 10 game. Yeah.
And that's why I feel like this will have to be figured out by Twitch. Because I think that's so many people that we just named. But yeah, I think create a copyright-free playlist and then, you know, make yourself a YouTube channel is the best two things you can do. And that's just good even regardless, you know, of DMCA.
Yeah, it's just generally good advice. Yeah.
Just general being a better streamer.
Would you okay, would you delete your content if you were the average Twitch streamer right now?
If you don't care about it, sure. I mean, if you don't care about it, then why not? I guess there's no point in holding it. If you have 200 views a video and 12 people are watching your VODs, who gives a shit? You can just delete it if you don't care about it.
Yeah,
you
you could download all of it.
I record all my streams.
What do you mean?
So I literally have a recording of every stream I've ever done.
What do you do that? You do that separately off of OBS?
Yeah.
You're recording the same time?
I'm recording right now, and I've been doing it for 2 years.
Why do you do that?
So, just in case I need the footage and it gets muted, or I have to delete the VOD for whatever reason, and I want to make a YouTube video out of it.
Everyone we represent,
look back on it.
Everyone we represent gets a feed syndicated to Google Drive in real time. We automatically do it for people. So
I have everything recorded. I do kind of care about my clips. I think clips are like a really cool feature, and I think they're